So I would like to say that today's video is going to be a little bit different, but unfortunately it's not. We are talking about TYT once again for all of the wrong reasons. And I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I am pretty fired up right now. And the reason I'm fired up is because of a comment that Cenk made on TYT's main program the other day. And when I say that I believe Cenk Uygur, if he really meant what he said, might be one of the biggest fucking hypocrites. And I say biggest fucking hypocrite. That's like a catchphrase of mine almost on this channel. I say that a lot. When I say that I think Cenk Uygur might be one of the biggest fucking hypocrites, or he's just a fucking idiot. It's one or the other. I'm going to show you guys, explain why I have that position in just a second here. But when I say that he might be one of the biggest hypocrites ever, I mean, God fucking damn, this clip, I thought it was an April Fool's joke. I legitimately thought it was an April Fool's joke that was a couple days late, and it's not. Cenk went on the main program and said that he is now legitimately considering RFK Jr. RFK Jr. And he gives a couple of different reasons as to why he's considering RFK Jr., but the main reason that Cenk says he's considering RFK Jr. now is because Joe Biden is funding an ongoing genocide of the Palestinian people, which Joe Biden is doing that, but we're going to listen to Cenk talk, not my favorite thing to always do, and then we're going to look at RFK Jr.'s track record on the people in Palestine and what he thinks about Israel's ongoing genocide they are committing against the Palestinian people. And I think you guys know where this is probably going to go. But
first, let me tell you the things I agree with. The headlines are wrong. He didn't say that Biden is definitely a bigger threat. He said he could make an argument
just a little bit here.
And you've got to be careful with that. And you know what the mainstream media loves to do. They love to smear anyone who's an outsider. So boom, they took that as an opportunity to do that. So he's right about that. Number two.
Also, really quick, before we continue the rest of the clip, I feel like everything up until the very end that Cenk says is pretty tame. I mean, he's speaking in the context of supporting RFK Jr., which, again, don't agree with that at all. But everything else that he speaks on is pretty, like, yeah, okay, yeah, like, that's fine.
He's right to be concerned about Biden being a threat to democracy himself. Maybe not for the reasons that he's stating, but Biden did, support anti-democratic movements within the primary. The Democratic Party canceled the election in Florida. They try to keep out every candidate in North Carolina, Tennessee, etc. So they love to rig elections. Yes, I use the word rigged, okay? So you can go cry about it if you're mainstream media. How about you do your job and talk about how they canceled the election in Florida in the primary and just declared Biden the winner? So if you're gonna make the argument that you're a champion of democracy, you should probably try it in your own primaries. Third thing he's right about is that the establishment in a lot of ways has killed democracy long before Donald Trump tried to. Now, how did they do it? They did it with donors. Donors now completely control our politics. And as I've explained in Justice is Coming, my book, there's been Princeton Northwestern study done over 20 years showing that if you're in the bottom 90% of Americans, your influence on policy is 0%. If you're in the top 10%, you have excellent influence on policy. Does that sound like a democracy to you? So we lost this a long time ago. Number four thing he's right about is they're constantly using fear, both sides. The right wing with the immigrants are coming, the LGBTQ people are coming, the Muslims are coming, be afraid, be afraid. Biden with, oh my God, Trump's a monster, he's gonna take away everything that you care about, be afraid, be afraid. So that's a lot I agree with RFK Jr. on. So the reason why I say it's a trick though is,
yeah, so you guys heard what he said. There's a lot he agrees with RFK Jr.
Trying to have it both ways because he's trying to get Republican and Democratic voters. So he wants to say something that'll appeal to Republican voters. Or maybe Biden's a bigger threat to democracy. Come Republicans, vote for me. Then when people get mad at him and yell at him and he thinks he's going to lose Democratic voters, he comes out and goes, no. I meant this, and this. So that's the old plausible deniability trick, right? Where you say something to get votes from one side, and then when you're caught, you say, well, technically, I didn't say that. But brother, why did you frame it that way? When I say it, I'm very clear about what I'm saying.
There's something RFK Jr. he's very clear and explicit about something, Cenk, that he's not doing any both sided shit when it comes to one very specific issue, Cenk.
Whereas he's now become a little bit of a politician and hence plays these games. So, but the most surprising thing is, for the first time today, I'm now considering RFK Jr. Now,
what?
I know, shocking, right? And no, hold on. Let me tell you why. So is it because I think, oh, maybe he's right about vaccines? No, he's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs on vaccines. And on several other things where he believes in conspiratorial theories that I don't believe in at all. So why on God's green earth would I consider RFK Jr.? Well, until now I hadn't, because of those crazy things that I don't come anywhere near believing. But I thought about it, Anna, and Trump I would never support in a million years. Biden is now funding a genocide and is an awful choice, has been corrupt his whole life.
Did you guys hear what he said? Did you guys hear what this motherfucker said? I'm going to run it back just in case you missed it.
And is an awful Trump I would never support in a million years.
Let's listen.
Biden is now funding a genocide.
Biden is now funding a genocide. He is. Joe Biden is now funding a genocide. But God fucking damn it. RFK Jr. I'm about to show you guys the fucking clips. I'm just going to play them instead of sitting here rambling. This motherfucker, this is breaking points. And then there's also a Reuters interview. He literally just straight up says, yeah, fuck them. He literally says, fuck the Palestinians. He says that in this clip.
The Palestinian people are arguably the most pampered people by international aid organizations.
Are you kidding me?
The Palestinian people are the most pampered people by international aid organizations in the entire world. That's the person that Cenk just said he is now considering. Cenk, the person who goes on Piers Morgan's show, who gets on the main CYT program, who goes any chance he gets. He will even fights with his own co-hosts about how Israel is an apartheid regime. The Palestinian people are living under an apartheid regime, and they are committing a genocide against them. That's Cenk, but he's considering this guy. This guy.
Even before this war, 78% of people in Gaza said they had, not enough food to eat.
Right. And why is that? Why are you blaming Israel?
In part, it's Hamas, and in part, it's the fact that Israel imposed a blockade and talked about putting them on a diet.
If your neighbor, first of all, Israel has no obligation. It's not Israel's fault that Gaza is poverty-stricken.
Ladies and gentlemen, the candidate Cenk is now considering.
Gaza should be one of the wealthiest states on the Mediterranean.
They have no control over their own territory.
Of course, if you go to war,
everything that comes in and goes out.
If you go to war, no, Crystal, why are you blaming? Why do you insist on blaming Israel?
I'm not a big fan of breaking points myself, but thank God Crystal Ball was pushing back on this absolute fucking disgusting dumb shitbag here, RFK Jr. But again, we have something else we're going to look at. Cenk, you cannot seriously go on your show and say, I am now considering RFK Jr. if you actually believe that the Palestinians are being genocided and Israel is an apartheid regime, because this man doesn't think that. He does not think that. Let's continue here. This is a Reuters interview, which I don't know how many people have seen this. I don't know how many people have talked about it. I didn't see a lot of people talking about it. This Reuters interview is from March 20th. It was posted on March 20th. It only has 11,000 views, so not a lot. Reuters is a pretty big outlet. And the title of this interview is, RFK Jr. says Hamas must be destroyed. And you remember, Joe Biden he's the one who he is funding a genocide, and that's one of the biggest reasons. Cenk says that he is now supporting, or considering, I should say, because he didn't say supporting, he said considering RFK Jr. And what's also funny to me is in the clip, you guys heard it, Cenk literally told mainstream media to do your fucking job. TYT is the equivalent of mainstream media when they do shit like that. Cenk is either completely 100 million% uninformed about RFK Jr.'s rhetoric on this, and if that is the case, then that's completely fucking irresponsible. They have millions of subscribers and also are one of the main outlets, news outlets, at least supposed alternative media, that routinely always covers the ongoing genocide of Palestine. You can't get on the fucking show and say, I'm considering RFK Jr. now. You can't do it. You can't have it both ways. And the second part is, Cenk's a fucking hypocrite. I like to try to give the people the benefit of the doubt, I really do. It may not seem like that the way I talk and say shit on this channel, but he was sitting there, you know, he was talking about how irresponsible and how shitty mainstream media is, and then he was talking about I'm blanking on it now. He's talking about something else, and he was sitting there saying, well, you know, these things are this, but then he turns around and says this dumb shit. I don't know. It doesn't match up with what he said before. It just doesn't make any sense. And again, and if he didn't know that RFK Jr. thought like this, and this is his position on Israel-Palestine, then that's just completely irresponsible, and it makes TYT not trustworthy. I've been having opinions that have changed on TYT as of late, but this is just a whole nother level of garbage, man.
In Los Angeles, independent U.S. presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. offered staunch support for Israel, calling it a, quote, moral nation that was justified in responding to the Hamas militant group in Gaza.
Justified in the response to the Hamas militant group in Gaza. He literally thinks that it's justified. And he says it. He openly, proudly says, I support the Palestinian genocide. And Cenk said he's considering him. Again, I thought it was a fucking April Fool's joke. You can't make this shit up. This type of shit right here, I don't like saying stuff like this. I really don't. And again, I probably should have said this at the beginning of the fucking video. I don't think that talking about other progressives all the time and always shitting on them for maybe a shitty take they had is always the most productive thing. But there's a difference between, you know, just talking about someone or whatever and actually holding someone accountable for something that's extremely irresponsible. And I hope that that's what people are taking away from this video right now. I probably shouldn't be saying this, but when stuff like this happens, it makes people that might not be progressive, or maybe they're on the fence, which again, that's a term I don't like to use. When you see Cenk be this much of a fucking idiot, it makes people that use just the most dumb shit to weaponize not supporting progressive things. When you see someone like Cenk be this fucking stupid, it's just going to make other people that might look at something like this and be like, oh, you know, maybe I think like this. It's going to just drive them away. It's going to make people, I probably worded that really fucking badly. I know I did. But this is going to make, I guess, people that might not be so progressive look at this and be like, well, what the fuck?
The world community has isolated Israel and said, you're on your own. And I think as long as Israel is in that position, its only choice is to destroy Hamas.
Kennedy,
he just said that the world left Israel alone? This is the guy that Cenk said he's considering? Brother, this is...
running against both
I don't know what timeline we're in now, but...
candidate Donald Trump is facing the steep uphill battle of an American third-party candidate. A recent Reuters Ipsos poll put his support among registered voters at 15%.
I actually don't know how much of this is about him talking about
and 38% for
about
Trump.
the Palestine
and
stuff.
The
I didn't watch it before I got on.
Attorney understands
alternative
defended Israel's right to respond.
Okay.
For hope, for faith in the future, for somebody who inspires them, for somebody they like.
Biden has defended Israel's right to respond to the October 7th attack by Hamas, but the president has stepped up pressure on the Middle East ally to reach a 6-week ceasefire in the conflict. Kennedy said he saw no reason for a truce.
Bro, he's literally worse than Biden on Israel. He's worse than Biden on Israel. He's actually worse than Biden on Israel. Do you know how fucking hard that has? Do you know? Oh my fucking God. These glasses are fake, by the way. They're not real glasses. Do you know how? Oh my fucking Lord. I didn't even know it was like that. Do you know how extreme you have to be worse than Biden on Israel? That is just wild that Cenk said that shit. I can't trust TYT anymore. Just can't. I cannot believe he said that on the show, dude. That is wild to me. Absolutely fucking insane. That's crazy. I gotta go back. Maybe my brain tricked me. I feel like did my brain trick me? We're rewinding it here. Let's see.
But I thought about it, Anna, and Trump I would never support in a million years. Biden is now funding a genocide.
I don't know, man. I don't know. That's fucking bullshit. That is just some bullshit, man.
Israel was in a ceasefire on October 7th. So what would be different this time? You know, I think Israel understands that for everybody to progress, Hamas has to be destroyed.
The Reuters poll shows Kennedy slightly more popular with voters 18 through 39 than he is with voters over the age of 40, a popularity he could put in.
Whether people disagree with me, if somebody shows me that I'm wrong about an issue, I'm going to change my opinion. But let's talk about facts.
That is okay. I'm not even going to watch anymore because I can't listen to this motherfucker talk for more than like as long as I've been listening to him talk now, because that was just such a lie. And he's been shown shit he's wrong about all the time, and he doesn't change his shitty positions. That was hilarious. But yeah, so there you have it. Again, there was an outlet, the Times of Israel, did cover the interview. Again, I didn't really see a lot of people talking about this Reuters interview, but I just wanted to make this video because I saw this clip floating around a couple of days ago. I guess this is, I don't know what day they did the show, but I saw this clip floating around, and I hadn't actually watched it, thought it was a joke, thought people were fucking with me. The Emo Dragon over here, great account, I actually should be following them. They're the ones who provided that clip that we just watched, but I wanted to make a video, show that, you know, TYT is either literally just super irresponsible and not trustworthy, or Cenk is a hypocrite. I don't know. I don't know what to think. I honestly don't know what to think. You guys let me know what you think. It could be both. You know, maybe it's just both. Because getting on the show and saying, I'm considering RFK Jr., and then claiming, oh, well, Joe Biden's supporting a genocide, which he is. He's funding a genocide in Israel, when RFK Jr.'s position is worse than Joe Biden's. I don't know what judgment to make there. I feel like you could make an argument for both. But that is going to be it for this video. Guys, let me know what you thought of Cenk being Cenk. Let me know what you thought of the video. Let me know what you thought of my coverage of Cenk being Cenk. And I will see you guys in the next one.